Alright, here we are with Exalted Demake, Storms of Yizhao, Season 3, Episode 1. We are in June 2023. I am Peter the Storyteller, and today with me we have...
G, playing 1,000 Crimson Calamities, the Night Twin, and Daybreak Abyssal. She used to run a resistance against the realm with her sister, but was killed in a terrible fire and recruited by a Death Lord. And then she was later found in the underworld by her sister, and yes, she found a reason to take them both out of the underworld. She is still a loyalist, and she is very much interested in learning more necromancy and bringing about the end of creation, but she is also just a little bit conflicted about everything because her sister is very, very convincing. Yeah, so her big things are necromancy, traveling, and being sad.
As all of us are.
Then we've got Broeckchen, that's me, with Cyra, who used to lead a resistance against the realm with her twin sister until her twin sister died in a horrible fire. But don't worry, she got better. And Cyra, in a moment of utter anger and desperation, exalted as a Zenith solar. Her big thing is mainly nature and enjoying herself, as well as archery. And she's got a big old mountain goat ram, who is her absolute bestie, aside from 1,000 Calamities, who is even more of her absolute bestie. And don't you dare touch a hair on that person's body. Her twin was brought to the underworld for a while, but Cyra kicked the door down with her literal battering ram and managed to bring her back in her version of the story.
Sounds awesome.
And I'm Sigfried, playing Foreclose Abatement, Full Moon Lunar. Foreclose Abatement was born somewhere out in the boonies in the east and exalted when, some of the bad things that happen when you're out in the boonies happened, and has since been wandering around trying to find something to hold his attention and just hanging out and trying to ignore the knowing in his soul that everything is wrong and something terrible happened to creation.
Awesome. Sounds good. So yeah, a small organization stuff. Once again, this is the young version of Storms of Yizhao, so we changed the adventure a little bit to be slightly better. What was our taste? Originally, the adventure was for Godbound. Pretty recommended to them. Currently, we're testing the Exalted Demake, which is a work in progress homebrew version of Exalted by Holden. And for this season, we decided, hey, this is a one-shot. We want to test some limit. So why don't everybody roll for limit at the start? And how many points of limit you start with? So how much did everybody get?
9 out of 10.
Yeah.
6 out of 10.
2.
So we might have some Abyssal limit break soon. We'll see. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's bring us into where we are right now. It's currently the realm year 768, so as usual, the Emperor has been missing for 5 years, and things are, slowly degrading in the realm. But we're not in the realm. We're in the east, in the Hullets Kingdom area. More specifically, we're in the Regency of Dawnby, which is like a post-Shogunate society run by a dragon-blooded dynasty, and it's pretty much inspired by ancient China. And in that regency, we are specifically in the city of Yizhao. It's a walled city of about 100,000 people on the border of Russian Confederacy, which is a region ruled by the fair folk. The city itself is located on the Duhuang River, which is a tributary to the Yellow River, and it is by the Shoshan mountain range to its east. And the city itself is known for its ironworks. So, all in all, you've been in this area for a while, you've earned a little bit of reputation, you know each other, and so on, so on. You have to do, hey, let's meet in the tavern, let's figure this out. So, you have been the governor of Yizhao, Governor Wu Jiang, has requested your help in his city. He sent an invitation, and he expects you to show up eventually. So, again, Yizhao sits on the river. There's a road through it. There's 30-foot high walls, stone walls. How do you guys make an entrance? How do you enter the city? How do you show yourself off? How does your character look, and so on? Describe it.
Right, should I start? Just same order?
Sure thing.
Yes, so the first thing that people will see is, a gaggle of undead, like a couple dozen of zombies, just marching in an undisciplined mob as zombies do, surrounding a palanquin being carried also by zombies, just, entirely black with black curtains around it. And from this eventually will emerge the very strange, otherworldly, porcelain-skinned necromancer known as 1,000 Crimson Calamities, with her jet black eyes with ghostly blue irises, her blood red hair, and a long crimson gown adorned with black soul steel armor. Certainly a striking figure at appearance 5, and with just an unmistakable air of melancholy that seems infectious. Oh yes, and also there's always just flocks and flocks of carrion birds, like crows, sometimes vultures, and these things called ratons about. They seem to just follow in her footsteps wherever she goes. Quite the contrast to her troops.
Looks amazing. Looks like a show.
Mm-hmm.
Quite.
Within the big gaggle of zombies, there is one lone, fairly bright mountain goat that walks next to the palanquin, just trots along, and on it sits a woman with largely decorative muscles, who looks just like the sweetest little sunshine, has a wide smile on her face at almost all times. Her wild strawberry blonde hair is bouncing with every move of the mountain goat, and her golden brown eyes are just smiling at everyone who catches her glance. She often leans in towards the palanquin and says some small thing to 1,000 Calamities. Usually something that seems pretty excited from her expression. She seems very chuffed to be here. And on her back there is an utterly ill-fitting long bow made out of soul steel, gleaming darkly with ornamental bits of orichalcum in it. It looks as if someone tried to construct it completely out of little skulls, out of soul steel, with orichalcum teeth and eyes. and a gleaming red hearthstone in it. And it has this aura of darkness that doesn't fit Cyra at all, but she doesn't seem to mind it at all either.
Solars.
Yeah.
And on the top of the palanquin, in one spot that's nice, that's been hit by the sun, there's a cat napping. Looks more like a very tiny tiger than a cat, but, cat-sized. And when the palanquin stops, we'll wake up, look around, and then jump down and follow the others.
Okay. So we have quite a bit of procession. Like, you definitely have everybody looking at you as, you're walking past, like, this isn't something they've seen in a while. Some people might not be comfortable with it. Hey, they'll have to deal with it. They're, not the boss of you. So yeah, you make your way into the city. You present your summons by the governor, so the guards reluctantly let you in. And yeah, you see the Yizhao itself. It's the vast majority of the buildings here are pretty much wooden. The roads are unpaved dirt, so everything's very muddy. There's a lot of people milling about, hawking their wares. People being carrying palanquins and what have you. And there's a strange energy in the air. So maybe if someone could roll me some perception occult, maybe or someone sorcerously inclined or necromantically inclined.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably at difficulty 8.
Wait, what's my perception?
Do we have anyone like that?
If only.
What? A necromancer. Yeah. Do I want to start firing up intimacies for this? Nah, it's fine. It's fine. Let's see. Well, that's 4 successes. Not
4
bad.
successes. Okay, so you've heard a little bit about the city before and what's its housing. There is something called the Altar of Heaven in the city, which is a first age machination that is protecting the city from various sorceries, lower magics, and things like that are working like a grander scale. Like this won't stop your charms, won't stop your miracles going off, but like if you do sorcerers workings or similar things in here, you'd have some problems. Just like yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't go all in on sorcery.
It wouldn't be impossible, and with Solaroid dice pools, it wouldn't probably be even that hard. But
Mm-hmm.
You said the altar is a first stage thing?
Yes, it's a first age construct.
Was it something that one of my past incarnations had anything to do?
I'll leave that up to you. How much do you want to be antagonistic to what's going on here?
Oh, fuck it. Yes. Let's crank up that limit.
Okay. So explain to the listeners, what does that do to you? Why are we declaring anonymity on this Altar of Heaven?
So, one of the lunar limit clauses is the first time in the course of each story that the lunar encounters a particular location, artifact, organization, or blah blah blah, that she was responsible for protecting or overseeing in any of her first stage incarnation. If it's still operating under anything close to its original name, being used for its original function or being deployed under the authority of the realm, then when the lunar next sleeps, she suffers terrible nightmares of her past lives' failures and awakens in physical and spiritual agony, reinterpreting and reliving them as her own. She does not recover willpower and gains 2 points of limit. So I'm seeing something that reminds me of how things went horribly wrong in the usurpation.
You're not seeing it yet because it's not really something that's visible from where you're at right now, but probably eventually you will see it. You might feel its influence right now.
Yep.
Whether you recognize it for what it is at the moment, that remains to be seen.
I don't have to see it's I have to encounter it. So if we can feel its influence, that may be enough.
Yeah, I mean, soon you'll have the lowdown, so you'll probably figure things out.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you guys proceed to see the governor, or is there some other detour in the plan to start with?
No, I think I at least would probably just make a beeline for the palace or wherever that is.
Sure thing.
And Cyra is basically attached at the hip to Calamities, so she doesn't even question it much. She just basically followed her all the way here, and has so far even forgotten to ask why.
Yeah, don't worry. God knows how to be a part of the herd, so just follows along the zombies and, follows wherever our Abyssal goes, I guess.
Yeah, so long as she's together with Calamities, everything's fine.
Yeah. Of course, the zombies are under strict orders to not eat anyone, and I hope the people here have the good sense to stay at a distance.
Yeah, definitely. People give you wider berth than they give anyone else around here. So everybody just looking, gawking at what's going on, but they keep their distance.
Good stuff. Yeah, I think especially if you're coming into town with a large, with a small army of zombies, you should probably not leave the governor waiting.
I mean, who's in charge here? Obviously, it's you. So, yeah.
Yeah, but there's such a thing as diplomacy.
Well, do you diplomatize with people lesser than you know? You just give you let them know what's going on, and they have to accept it, or else.
I suppose. I'm guessing the governor is not like a dragon blood himself, right?
Well, how would you know? Do you have the?
That's a good question. I suppose we'll see about that.
Yeah, it's okay. So you move to the city, you make your way to the Banner District, which is where all the military forces are. You can see some local militia, guards, and have you coming in and out. You see some slightly foreign-looking people on horseback with bows and have you also, coming and going and what have you. And eventually you make your way to a slightly bigger, but not necessarily that much more ostentatious looking wooden building, which is where, the governor's mansion, quote unquote, is. Which, you come in, I guess you leave your zombies outside.
I don't know, wouldn't the Banner District be the best place for them? Oh, you mean outside of the manor?
Yeah.
Yes, I will leave the zombies outside the mansion. Zombies are not. There's. Let's say polite society is no place for zombies. Yeah.
Yeah, they're outside pets.
Yeah.
So you go into this building. It looks like pretty much like military-esque headquarters. It's more focused on this functionality rather than being too ostentatious. It's at least it's nice and clean in comparison to the outside and what have you. And over here, you feel the influence of the altar even further. So there's a dampening on the charms. Now if you're spending any modes, you have to spend an extra mode pretty much because the altar is really close by, let's say. Mm-hmm. So it's under this more direct purview. But when you introduce what you're here for, you're ushered in towards the governor's like office, let's say, and you see the person, which is like a slightly older looking person. You see some like speckle of gray hair on him. He looks a bit more rugged, strong features and what have you. And he is dressed in a black jade plate armor with a big black jade dieclave, hanging behind him on the wall. He's sitting at his desk and, he invites you to come, sit, maybe, offers you some tea or other refreshments if you'd like.
Okay, that's definitely a dragon blood then.
Oh, he's a secret solar because they also resonate with it.
That's true.
Chemical.
Cyra has dismounted and followed her sister inside, and her ram is also trying to follow inside and to eat the garments of whoever tries to stop it.
Yeah, there are definitely some guards going, whoa, this won't fit through the door. Would you like us to, feed your mount in the stables?
Sure, I guess. Cyra is too distracted following her sister, and her mount just like stares emptily at the guards and starts eating their sleeves.
How obedient is your mount, or how attached to you is it? Is it a problem getting it out?
Let me double check my mount real quick. Since Cyra isn't like telling it to stay, it's relatively impassive about this right now. But it is a little bit stubborn by default. So when people try to move it, it's probably just like out of principle gonna stay in the place it's in for a while. Just stand there and let them pull and push around.
Yeah, it's probably because it's a mountain goal. People start, okay, let's take you to the stables, buddy, and then you try to tag on its reins, and it doesn't go. They start pulling, and that doesn't help. And two people pull, and it's also stopping it. Eventually, someone brings a whole like bucket of oats or whatever, and then senses meals and starts following them.
Yes, exactly. Like at that point, it's negotiation, and it has won the negotiation. So, yes,
it definitely has.
I just hop up from the palanquin and then walk up to 1,000 Calamities and like poke at her to pick me up and carry me.
Yes, I will just lower one of my unbelievably long sleeves that jingle because there's throwing knives in there. So you can climb up on that.
Yeah, I climb up.
I wanted to hold the kitty. Cute kitty.
You'll get your turn. I've got a quick question for establishing like the scene. Like what season and time of day is it?
Well, it is, I'd guess, morning. And as for season, like, what would you like it to be? What do you think is appropriate here? What do you need?
I mean, I don't know the adventure, so.
Well,
early afternoon.
No,
I guess I like winter.
Let's say it's Spain, because I thought they said how much muddy roads, so yeah.
That's true. All right, spring then.
Okay.
And morning. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Good.
Okay. The governor, it was like, I'm Governor Wu Zhang. I, thank you for, meeting me at such short notice. Please have a seat. If you'd like some refreshments, we can definitely offer you. Would you like some tea? Or would you like something stronger than that?
Tea will do just fine. and I take a seat in a very dignified manner.
I'd like some plain water, please. And I just plop down into crisscross Abyssal's sitting position.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely you have some servants come in, pour you tea, pour you some nice refreshing water, and they make them leave because they don't think the cat needs some food or whatever. So
I'll meow at them loudly.
The servant looks over to the Abyssal. Would you like us to bring something for the cat?
Some milk, perhaps?
Meow.
No. If milk, then only goat's milk, please. Normal milk is not good for cats.
We have mare's milk.
I stare at Cyra in confusion when she says no milk.
No, not no milk. Goat's milk, specifically.
Yeah,
well,
is horse milk fine? I don't know.
I'm meowing, saying, yes, please, more. Give me the milk.
Yes,
but I'm meowing.
Yes, that will do. Thank you.
Okay, the servants go, they find some goat's milk somewhere, and they just bring that over to you in a nice saucer. Present it to you, like wherever the cat is, whether it's on the floor, whether it's on the table.
Yeah, on the table.
Okay. So, with that out of the way, once again, thank you for coming. Thank you for short notice. As I might have mentioned in my invitation, I am in need of your help, your assistance, your services. You might have heard that the city of Yizhao has been plagued by a supernatural curse for the last year. We've been having problem with our altar of heaven, our an artifact of an old age that's protecting the city from the Ragtime problem and similar black academies and so on. It's been acting up, and the last 3 months it's gotten way worse. To the point that it's becoming a danger to the city itself.
Yes, I can feel its influence on my essence as we speak. Is this normal, or is this part of the problem?
No, that's it functioning normally. The problem is that the altar of heaven itself is a artifact of the true king, which means that it exerts their will upon the society, imposing its will and its judgment on the people. And someone in this city has been found lacking to the point that it is punishing everybody in the city with supernatural calamities on a very regular basis. And we need to figure out who's been causing this altar to become upset and deal with them. But that's punishing them according to what they've transgressed, whether it's exiling them, executing them, or what have you. We need to correct this problem that is plaguing the society, so that the altar would accept it and continue providing us with the protection without punishing everybody.
At this point, I'm going to turn back into my human form because I need to talk.
I mean, I bet the Lunars can talk as cats as well.
But I don't have the charm to do that.
Yeah, there's a charm for it.
So okay. So, how do you look when you transform?
So, 4-fingered abatements, for close abatement. Human form is just medium-sized, wiry, tan man.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like in his mid-20s and is dressed in pretty rough, cheap clothes that I've seen a lot of use.
Okay. Cool.
I was like, sir, are you saying that this thing, and I point in the vague direction that I think the altar is in,
Behind the wall,
is punishing the whole city because somebody does not meet its oh so lofty ideals?
Okay, well, first of all, the governor is a little bit startled with the transformation. Not sure whether he expected you to be here or not. Good thing there aren't other people here, just, you exalts, because there's 7 left. And yeah, after he composes himself, he starts explaining. Yes, from what we've gathered about how the altar functions. Yes, it punishes the jalousie, the upper part of the society, based on their transgressions. Normally, it's much more calmer, things much smaller, and very much you can live with. But it seems that the transgression is really grand in its scale, or what have you, because we haven't seen it act up this way for this long, ever. This is something strange and new. We're not really sure how it could have gotten this bad without us being able to figure out what's wrong, who's responsible, and what have you. Usually, it's very usually if you have small transgressions, it doesn't act up this way. This is really something is spitting its very nature. And yes, it is punishing the people by sending down storms that ravage the city every week.
Ugh.
Interesting. Well,
yes,
I think we can certainly take a look at that. What exactly sort of payment were you thinking?
Oh,
what can you offer?
Well, definitely we can offer you, sums of money that, adequate to, the services you're rendering, which is, a good deal. We can offer you positions in this city, position in the government, especially he looks over you. I guess you're not Dragon Ball, so there's a limit to that. We can definitely allow an indulgence and add you to our prayer calendar for you to receive worship on the regular basis. And have you for you saving the city from this calamity. Would that suffice?
Well, these things personally do not interest me, though my compatriots might disagree on that matter. I personally would like to, would be more inclined with whatever magical things you have. Perhaps you have materials that I may procure, or, I don't know. Do you have artifacts?
He looks over at his diaclave. Yes, we do have some artifacts, and since we are a mining forge town, then we do stumble upon some magical materials from every now and then. We can certainly funnel them to you as needed.
Oh, I believe that will suffice for me, and I turn to my compatriots.
Well, how many slaves do you own?
Huh?
Like,
Calamities. Just like corner of Calamities' mouth starts twitching.
just like you have an idea how many, right?
I personally don't own any slaves. I'm a governor. I have servants for that.
Okay. How many slaves do your servants own? Just about.
Yeah, I think somewhere. I don't remember them owning anything. Again, I'm a military commander. I have soldiers. I have servants that are paid. They're the ones doing the tasks. They don't delegate further. So why are you asking? Would you like to procure some slaves?
No, I would like to free some.
Well, we do have. Well, I wouldn't say we have a slave market, but there are guild members coming in every now and then selling some slaves. We can definitely free some slaves for you in that regard. How many would you like freed?
Cyra gives Calamities a look that says, I did not expect to come this far. Help me out here.
And Calamities just turns to the governor and says, all of them. Obviously.
Yes, all of them.
I sneer.
Certainly, we can free all the slaves that will be coming into the city through the guild. Okay. I think we can arrange that. And
Great, that's all I need for
Lunar.
payment.
And Lunar?
I don't know. I'll figure it out later.
Sure. I hope your request will be, reasonable to the service provided. Well, if that's everything, of course we have some leads that might help you move forward with your investigation.
Before we get to that, since we've been talking for a while and we have been talking about like stuff that actually matters, I would like to try read intentions. I'm not good at that, but I'd like to try.
Okay, let me look at how read intentions work again, because yes, I'm still learning.
Oh yeah, perception plus empathy. I am not super great at that, but
Difficulty of service, how much the target is revealed during the scene. Okay, what would you like to know about them? I guess based on that, I can set a difficulty.
All right. Do I have to do I have to I thought I just roll read intentions. I get some information, but I might not be correct about that.
Yeah, it looks like based on how many successes you get more or less information.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty much based on how much the character has revealed themselves. You can get something on their true motives or an intimacy or even nature. Okay. I'd say that the governor hasn't revealed that much of his true intentions, let's say. So how about difficulty
actually
7? Yes?
Actually, never mind. This is definitely a botch.
Oh.
Well.
Botch. Does that mean you gain limit?
Wait, does that happen for Abyssals too? I'm not sure.
I have to double check, because I know that happens for a lot of them, but you have your very special rules. Let's see.
Yeah, with Abyssals, it's like specifically like the limit isn't them like getting frustrated or anything. It's the Neverborn getting.
You have the nameless curse, which you watching doesn't add to that. Okay. So what you glean from this is that the Governor Wu Jiang is very concerned about the well-being of his people here, and he's very moved by this altar punishing the poor people of this town, and would like to end their suffering,
Right.
in a positive way.
Just a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the governor. I'm going to ask the governor some more about what they know about the morality the altar is enforcing. Like, what kind of things does the altar punish people for?
Okay. The altar enforces as lead the pattern, which is a set of moral principles in the Dulbine Regency that's been passed from generation to generations. He starts explaining the basic stuff like, be good to the people below you, sacrifice the people above you, cherish the relationship, and so on, so on. And he says, the better person to explain this would be Beautiful Sage Fei. She's really studied the classic and explain all the nuances and interpretations of the rules that might be in place here. She's definitely one of the people I'd advise you to meet during an investigation.
All right, Beautiful Sage Fei. Noted.
Yeah. Beyond that, there are, again, a few people of note that might know something about what's going on. We have, first of all, Noyan Tomor, who's the leader of our Toban mercenary horse archers. He's been scouting around this in the outskirts of the city and in the countryside. He might have stumbled upon something out there that might be corrupting influence. We, of course, have the Royal Cecil Young, who's been an investigator sent by the regent himself to figure out what's going on in the city and who's to blame for it. I bet he has uncovered something during his investigation that he won't share with me. We, of course, have our Prince Yizhao, who's the caretaker of the Altar of Heaven. He might have some intimate knowledge about its operations and what's going on there. And last but not least, we have Mother Fuhan, who's a merchant boss that knows a lot about what's going on in the underbelly of the city and probably has her own motives to figure out what's going on here. So she might be able to be persuaded to share what she knows with you. Yeah. Other than that, you have my permission to do the investigation, follow the investigation wherever it leads, as long as you don't break any of the harsher laws and you don't steal from people, don't murder, and so on and so on. You have pretty much impunity in the city to follow your leads as needed. And yeah, we are at your service if you need some more information.
All right. So just to make this very clear, the goal here is that we find whoever has disturbed this pattern and to bring them to justice to stop the punishments. Yes?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. I think that is all I need to know from you at this moment. What about the others?
I think I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Same here. If we're free to ask around and to do almost anything with impunity, I'm on board. That's all I heard.
Yes. Well,
Dear God, solars, am I right?
in that case, well, I welcome you to the city of Yizhao. Hopefully, by the end of this, it'll be a better place. Okay. Then you can leave as you please. And where would you like to go next?
Just to make sure, the building that we were just in, that is probably one of the, bigger structures. Is this one also made of wood?
Yes, this is a wooden structure. Yeah, probably has a bricked bottom, what have you, so it has foundations and so on, but on top of that, it's still a wooden structure.
Other than the wall, are there any stone structures around?
You see, every now and then you might have some temple, or you might have some a richer house that's built around, but you don't see that many of them. Why would you need that?
I'm just thinking, this place would make a pretty lousy ruin. It's just not much here that would stand that would stand the eons if it were abandoned.
Yeah.
Man, I love how much of this is made of wood. It just, there's something so beautiful about just the home of organisms made out of organisms. Don't you agree, Calamities?
Can't say I do.
Yeah, if you want to turn this into a ruin, you definitely, what you'd see is the 30-foot high stone walls that will definitely stand there encircling this. Then you have a number of forges. You probably have some, but the whole setups there, what have you, and then there are some structures here, like the Alcove itself, that will stand pretty much unchanged for 1,000 years, what have you. You'll see that later.
Yes. All right.
So you have your potential leads plus whatever. Who would you like to see next, or would you like to go somewhere else?
I would like to talk to Beautiful Sage Fei.
Okay.
That sounds like the best place to start, yes.
Do none of the leads, reside in pubs or something?
Sorry?
In a pub?
Yeah, what did you say, Jen?
Sort of establishment where we can drink something nice and local and talk to the locals a little bit, I'd love to hear what people have to say about all this cursey stuff.
Well, that's a good question. Where would we even meet Beautiful Sage Fei?
Okay. Let me double check that. If you want to go and drink with people, both Beautiful Sage Fei and the Royal Citizen Liang are based out of the Flower District. They will meet you at tea houses. And, asking around, whatever, that Noyan Tomor has his share of, drinking things in the more military establishment or whatever. So, he has his tavern, let's say, for his people that, serves different kinds of alcoholic beverages and what have you. And, if you want, Mother Fuhan definitely can meet you at taverns, bars, or offer you whatever kind of imbuement you need,
Would a tea house suffice, Cyra?
Yeah.
All right. Tea house is Beautiful Sage or Royal Censor.
Yeah, that was
Beautiful Sage.
Yes.
Beautiful Sage? Okay.
I think I'm gonna, if nobody stops me, I'm just gonna drag the zombies all over town.
Yeah.
And
I'm not walking in the mud. Are you crazy?
Yeah, definitely. People won't stop you from using your palanquins, using your zombies, shambling about, whatever. with one small exception that maybe eventually you'll stumble on. But yeah, regardless, I guess we can take a small pause here because we've been recording for a while now. And yeah. And we're back. So, you leave the governor's mansion, manor, or what have you, and you're heading towards the the flower district where Beautiful Sage Fei is. On the way there, you see there's some young man standing in a heavy wooden conch, which is like pillory stalks, except they're not anchored to the ground. They're just like around his neck and hands, just a plaque of wood there. And there's a sign below it, and then there's some like smug-looking, a little bit older woman besides him, feeding him a bowl of rice porridge. If anyone wants to read the plaque, let me know whether you know the local language and can read. If you don't, this is like, I think in between your conversations, if you want to engage with it, you can always ignore it as well. Up to you guys.
Oh wait, you need 1 point of linguistics to actually be able to read, don't you?
Yes.
Yes. I
need to
in fact have
my dots slightly.
That's fine.
I can read,
yes.
and I would like to read.
I do speak the local languages, and I would like to read the plaque.
Yeah. I guess Daytun, has languages and also linguistics. So because you guys are originally from the realm, the Solar and the Abyssal, right? So you need language to be able to speak the local language.
Well, not quite the realm, but the threshold, a satrapy. And I do have languages too, and I picked the forest tongue as one of this. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Eastern languages, I know the big ones.
Yeah, so definitely this is one of the big ones. Pretty much, the plaque says in the local Ren language, I did not obey my mother.
Sorry?
I did not obey my mother.
Oh. Yes, I did not obey my mother.
I guess that explains who the lady feeding him porridge is.
Yep. Your assumptions are correct.
Interesting. You get the stocks for that.
Yeah.
Sounds a little bit, out of proportion.
Well, he didn't explain it in detail, but it did sound like this would be related to the pattern that the Altar of Heaven enforces. But I'm sure Faye will be able to tell us more about that.
Yeah.
I'll ask the lady, ma'am, what exactly did your son do to warrant this?
Well, he was having a relationship with a harlot, and I told him to stop it, and he didn't listen. He went back to the floozy, and, when I found out, well, he got punished for it accordingly. So people pass it by, just he doesn't nod.
Huh. That's a thing.
Yes, we must uphold the morals of our society. Children must listen to their parents, especially if they haven't left the nest yet. She looks at him sternly.
I don't know. Depends on the parents. Like, shitty parents shouldn't be listened to.
Yep.
Problem with authorities who?
Thy ain't my patriarch. So anyway.
I can see the need to obey one's elders, but how can the living ever really count as elders when the dead are so much older?
I think we
Well,
all just turned to stare at 1,000 calamities at this point.
Yeah, Cyra is like Calamities. For the 1000th time, not everyone can hear ghosts.
No, it's hardly my fault.
Ghosts is a bad thing.
Yeah, and like...
Oh, not at all. You're
If the
just
dead are
prejudiced.
And if the dead are so smart, why are they dead?
Well, they are smart because they're dead.
What did you say?
no.
Well, they are smart because they're dead. They have perspective.
I don't know. I feel like you can also get some perspective in life.
Well, you also need to review your deceased family members as well. Or your elders. Although even if they're dead, they require worship to pass into the afterlife.
Nah,
No.
that sounds absolutely senseless. The elders had their time here, the ancestors had their time. They're done. Now it's our world, and it's gonna be the world of the next generation soon.
Yes, and the next generation will worship you when you die. It's a natural circle of life.
No, why would people determine the future who are not gonna live in it? I don't get it.
Because they've raised you well. So, you'll follow their example and do as their ancestors did.
But if for example, if a mother raised her son well, why would he go to, a woman she doesn't approve of?
Good job.
Just holding eye contact, absolutely innocent facial expression, just very sincere.
Well, maybe your child scrap after his father, or maybe there was some, corrupt influence from, his fellow schoolmates.
But wait,
That sounds a lot. That sounds a lot like blaming other people for your own failures.
Also, doesn't the father also count as a parent? What if your parents say two different things? Who do you listen to?
Well, obviously the father.
So, but didn't you just say the father was the one that misled this child?
Well, he might have. I haven't got to the bottom of this. I got the solution that I wanted, which is all that matters.
Uh-huh.
That's gross.
Well, I don't think he'll go to Plum and a Half ever again, will you, son? He, shakes his head. No, mother.
Man, poor guy. Calamities, can't we get this thing off him? I definitely try to, just pry off the Stokes. What's it called again?
Conch.
Yeah,
that. Stocks are bolted to the ground. This is like a free flow. So yes, and try tearing it apart.
I am not gonna I don't even need to roll for this. I would not be able to just noodle arming my way through this.
Yeah, right. Well, this is a solid piece of wood with some metal hinges and have you. So
Cyra, he's fine. Just leave him be. They will not keep him in there forever.
He doesn't look fine though. Look at that poor guy. I rummage in my pockets and get out some berries, and blow some dust off of them and offer them to him, so he at least gets something sweet to eat and not just this disgusting plain rice porridge.
Oh, thank you for your kindness, stranger. The mother looks over another woman that he's associated with. Fine, let this one slide, because there's a horde of zombies next to, so I shouldn't be mouthing off too much.
Yeah. Do I want to pick this fight? I don't think so.
She looks disapprovingly, but doesn't say anything as her son eats out of your mouth. Out of your hand.
Pot out of your mouth. That's disgusting.
I don't think we've gotten that far in the relationship.
Just feeding him like a baby bird.
Yes, exactly.
Feed him like a goat. You put your hand flat and bite your fingers off. And
Exactly. And like once he's eaten all the berries, I tussle his hair and go, "Stay strong. You can do this."
Oh, thank you.
Can I give him a little like motivation boosty with my charisma or something like that?
Not sure if you want to. I guess that will be social
right?
influence because you're inspiring him to get some intimacy of believing in themselves.
Social influence?
Yes. Okay.
I see. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Let's see. What is the role?
Probably charisma plus presence. Well, I mean, like, you can do this with a lot of different things, but...
yeah, sure. Roll your charisma and presence or whatever you'd like to use to inspire this against difficulty 4.
All right. I can do this. Mickey, give me my keyboard, please. No.
Meow, mother.
Oh, God damn it.
Meow, mother.
Treat, mother. I'll trade you.
Give me the food. I want the broccoli.
Cats.
Well, have you rolled the thing?
No, I'm still on it. Bert, why you can't be like this? Difficulty was...
rolled in 4.
What? Difficulty 4, yeah?
Yeah. 5 successes. Awesome. Yeah, you definitely inspire him to be more confident in himself that he can endure this. And yeah, with the result, you can see the sparkle in his eyes and sets himself up and, is ready to endure the rest of this punishment.
I give him a brilliant smile and try to quickly catch up with Calamities, who has probably started going farther towards where we're actually headed by now.
Yes, and also has started ranting. This is exactly what I mean with a perspective thing. Just spending all this time on some random dope who is in a slightly uncomfortable situation. Sheesh. Bigger fish, Cyra, bigger fish.
Oh, but like every shoal of fish consists of many small ones, though.
Perfect, combination of characters. But look at the big picture, but also the small parts of it. Yeah, complementary. Yeah. Okay. So you move on towards the Tower District and hear some smack on the head from somewhere behind you afterwards. So yeah, Tower District. It is a nicer district. It is nice and clean. The roads are a bit drier here. There's a little bit less traffic. There's heavy traffic. You see a lot of the buildings here, like tea houses. They're fancier. There's some red light district out in the back, but yeah, this is definitely the nicer place in the town to hang out and relax and what have you. And yeah, you can meet the beautiful Sage Fei at one of the higher, the more prestigious of the tea houses. I think fancy, refined, and have you. Yeah, they definitely ask you, well, the people are a little bit perturbed by the sight of the zombies, so have you, but they know not to stand in your way and just profusely welcome the tea house and just praying under their breath that you won't be bringing your entourage in.
Yes. They are lucky today.
Yeah, they thank you for being a gracious, patron.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they welcome you in. Soon after, the she walks in. She's a younger woman, pretty good looking. She's accompanied by an older auntie type person that's chaperoning her in here. And yeah, they're both well dressed, very appropriate for the setting and what have you. And she makes her way over to you. Introduces herself as that she's the Beautiful Sage Fei. It's her aunt, her chaperone. Then she thanks her auntie for being over here, and aunt walks over like 2 tables over to sit and drink tea by herself and whatever. And the sage sits with you at the table or what have you. You serve whatever kind of drink you'd like. Similar arrangement as last time. What's going on?
Is there anything alcoholic available here?
Definitely, you have some rice sake, and if you want something more exotic, they might have some other spirits like that, or other like fruity drinks, some fresh pressed juices and things like that.
Ooh, fruity drinks! I am all for those.
Sure. So you order some equivalent of a cocktail he'll make for you right in the spot. You have like, whatever kind of fruit you'd like, they actually have it.
Nice.
I'm just gonna get some tea.
Nice. Tea is good. It is bitter. That's why it's good.
And then pour like all the sugar they have into the tea.
Cyra just grins as she sees that and does not comment further.
Yeah, they have this, marvelous vegetable sugar cubes that you can just put in one by one.
Interesting.
So okay. So well, thank you for reaching out to me. I heard that you're the new investigators in town. How may I help you?
Could you explain? No, well, go ahead, Taz.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You go ahead.
I was gonna say, could you tell us what kind of morality is the altar enforcing on the people of the city, and what kind of breach do you think would cause such a violent response?
Okay. Oh, well, as you're asking about the pattern, her eyes light up in delight. Oh, so you mean you want to learn about Lee, the pattern, the law set forward by the true king in the days of old? Oh, okay, I can definitely explain all that to you. So first we have the filial piety, that is the soul of virtue. So you do love your parents because that is the pattern for all love and loyalty. You need to honor the 5 relationships, so parent and child, ruler and minister, elder siblings and younger sibling, husband and wife, and senior friend and junior friend, because those are 5 modules of all relationships.
Uh-huh.
The lesser reveals to serve the greater, and the greater guides and nourishes the lesser. Then you need to serve your ancestors rightly, so just like your parents, serve them, you need to serve your parents and have you. Let's see, you need to produce sons, and so the rite of worship will be continued, and you need to maintain your family line at all costs, and so on and so on. Then you need to serve your relationship dutifully, so whether you're an in-law, cousin, uncle, niece, some more distant relationship, you need to appropriately honor your elders and nourish your juniors. To act as your ancestors did, because the true king gave us the perfect way to run the society, and we need to, honor his wisdom and guidance. And then the rulers need to lead by example. So if they lead a virtuous life, then the people are more inclined to also lead virtuous lives by themselves. So we need to hire all the people in the highest part of the society in. They need to okay, and then finally you need to seek learning so that you may be perfected. So you need to better yourself at all times. And as for what I think might be causing this calamity that's cursing the city of Yizhao, I believe is the loose morals of the common people, and then conspiring with the corrupt official to ease their own lives. And it's a problem on such a massive scale that I believe the altar is punishing everybody for it because everybody here is at fault.
I regret asking.
So to sum up, there is a strict hierarchy between seniors and juniors in these 5 ways: parent and child, ruler and minister, and so on and so forth. And so that would suggest that well, my question is, how far-reaching is this rule? Is it just triggered by someone disobeying their senior, their older sibling or whatever? Or is it more general than that?
Well, in general, you should be following the pattern in all of your life, regardless whether you're here or abroad or wherever else, because this is the perfect pattern. But if you're talking more closely about the altar of heaven, I think the young Prince Zhao would know more about technicals of it, but I believe that the altar only judges what it sees, and it can see around Yizhao. And the altar has been around for many, many years. It's been active for decades by this point, from what I heard, if not longer. And the morals, no society is unfortunately perfect unless you have the upright, of course. So I don't think, one person, one child mouthing off to their mother would cause this calamity. I think, this is the bigger corruption, the whole society, and the altar itself has finally had its fill and decided, this is a unjust society. It must be rectified, and it's enacted its punishment.
So it is. No, yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
One little question for me: what if the authority gives bad commands? Like, let's say a parent tells their child to starve or something like that. What then?
Well, then they aren't fulfilling their part of the 5 relationships, and they don't rule by example, so they're obviously at fault for neglecting their duties as the station, so they should be punished.
Yeah, okay. So there is at least some recourse for the higher authorities to be kept to some standards.
Yes, this isn't tyranny. This is a just system. Even the highest officials may be at fault. Like Prince Zhao, he's he has all the regions in him, but he's got very strange ideas about what should be done in regards to the ancient laws and have you. He's a reformist, let's say.
Wow, you really hung up on this Prince Zhao guy.
What does he want to reform?
all sorts of things. I'm just a common person. I, aren't privy to everything that he's doing, but I heard that, he's not appreciating his station in this city, and he'd like to just go to Nexus and be an adventurer and what have you, which isn't befitting a princeling.
I would like to try and read intention on this lady. See if she's actually buying all this stuff, or she's just,
Sure. I'm going to say difficulty 7.
Sure, and it's perception, empathy, right?
Yes, perception, empathy.
Cool. I have a whole 3 dice on this.
Same.
You can
Cyra, you should maybe you should start using read intentions at some point.
I succeed!
How much?
Two successes.
2 successes. Okay, let me double check. What did that do in the social? Where's my codes? Read intentions. 1 success. Target true thoughts and motives during the scene. Okay. Well, first of all, yes, she believes the pattern. She has swallowed this hook, line, and sinker and would like to proselytize to everybody that this is the good way of doing things. To that point, she has some motives about how she'd go about doing this. Like, she's excited to reveal something more to you, once she answers your questions and what have you.
Okay.
Yes. But first, I have some more questions about this pattern. Is it fair to assume that the punishment befalling the city is the result of some kind of, either misuse or, upheaval of this hierarchy?
Yes, so there's definitely a possibility that someone's above their station or mingling with the people way below their ranking as they shouldn't be, or it could be something else. Maybe it's heresy, maybe it's yoga worship, or other such unsightly things, or again, it could be corruption through and through of the entire society, and what have you. There are a lot of people give bribes, taking bribes, living quite lax lives, and not thinking that their lot in life is where they should be, trying to weasel their way out of their obligations and into more comfortable lives and what have you.
I see. This sounds quite complicated.
I mean, there are many reasons the author of heaven might be punishing us, and but if you like, I do believe I have found a solution that should solve all of this promptly.
I'm sure I won't like your answer.
I would honestly like to keep this for later. Perhaps I would like to look at these things with without being primed first, if you wouldn't mind. And I also have some more questions. You mentioned the upright. What is that?
Oh, the upright are the perfect citizens. They are blessed by the author of heaven so that they conform perfectly to the pattern, and they are incorruptible, upright citizens that lead perfect, content lives. That's better than anything in Yizhao. Pretty much, if you go to the Mulberry district, you can witness this for yourself, the perfect district we have in the city. And
how many uprights are there?
About 5,000 to 10,000, maybe.
That's a lot.
I mean, it's a district, yes.
But how does this work? Are they blessed because they fulfill the pattern well, or are they fulfilling the pattern well because they are blessed? This seems important.
Well, it's very technical. I think Prince will be able to tell you more about it. And as she's talking about it, she pulls out some weird metallic parchment that she sets aside. I don't want to have a look at it, glance at it with perception and occult.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Difficulty 7.
Should I, or do you want to? I mean, I'm pretty good at occult.
I think we can both roll.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I got nothing.
Right. What's the difficulty?
7.
7. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 successes.
4 successes. Okay. So, as Beautiful Sage Fei puts away this scroll to the side, you notice its glint, this like really strange and rainbowy sheen to it. That's something made out of star metal, and it looks really old and complicated and heavy. Just puts that aside.
That definitely catches my attention then.
Yeah. So, as you were saying, I think it's very technical. I think the Prince would be able to explain this to you better, but I believe that the altar has a built-in capabilities to correct the people that are lax in morals and make them fall in line. Many of the city officials, they're the Junzikas, the elite, the well-educated, and whatever. They are immune to its effects, but the lesser Zhaoren, the smaller people, they can follow its influence much more easily, especially when they offended on a longer basis, and they get corrected. Their behavior gets corrected so that they fall in line where they're happiest in their life.
This altar can mind control people?
I mean, I wouldn't call it mind control. It's like re-education. They learn about the beauty of the pattern and they embrace it with their whole heart.
So, 1,000 calamities. Do you think you can get enough zombies to tear that building down?
Hey, please, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I'm just talking hypothetically.
I haven't seen the building, but let's maybe speak of this at some other point. I don't think this is the appropriate venture. Why are you so on edge?
Is this all wrong?
Well, I mean, that is a matter of opinion, isn't it?
I mean, the regency of Dolby has persisted longer than the realm itself. I mean, it has stay power, and we accomplished that thanks to the pattern.
Mm-hmm. Yes, let's stay on topic for the moment. We can discuss tearing down buildings later when we know more. All right. Speaking of staying on topic, what is that? And I point at the star metal thing.
Oh, this is the river chart. I managed to source it by talking with many of the sages of Dunbai. It is an artifact meant to empower the altar of heaven so it can operate at its full capacity. And if you apply it to it, it will root out all this corruption in the city in an instant.
Interesting. And you haven't used it because...
Well, the only person that's allowed to get close to the altar of heaven is the Prince Yizhao, and he doesn't believe in the pattern the same way I do. So we have a disagreement about whether it should be applied, and without his approval, the upright guards around the altar won't let me close to it, so I couldn't do it myself. But, if there was some very capable exiles around that would be able to apply it, I'd give my whole life to fulfilling this goal.
Interesting.
We all agree this sounds like a terrible idea, right?
Well, I haven't. Well, maybe you can explain a bit more what this would entail. What does it mean to root out all this corruption in an instant? How would this happen? Do you know?
Sure. Let's give a quick pause because I think there's some error coming on. Let's go back. So you were asking about how can the river chart solve this problem, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, the upright are incorruptible, perfect citizens, which means that the altar will change more people into the upright, and thus I don't believe any sort of corruption, of hidden scheme or anything in the city will be able to stand to that. All these evils will be uprooted. All the conspirators will turn themselves in. Anyone that has a guilty conscience will confess of their crimes, or even if they're not the ones they might have heard of what's going on. And there won't be any place in the city that will be able to hide its evil doings, which I bet will solve all the problems.
So wait, it will turn everybody in the city in an upright?
No, just most of the Yizhao. So, not people like you or me, not like the governor or what have you, not the city officials, just the common people, you know.
Why?
The people.
Why?
The majority of people in the city.
Yes, majority of the people in the city.
But don't the authorities also need to be turned into upright?
The altar doesn't have the power to turn the Junzi in the higher ups into the uprights. But obviously, no such corruption lives alone. Like, in order for an official to take a bribe, someone has to give the bribe, for example. Or, you have lucky, you have servants, slaves that hear about what's going on. There'll be eyes and ears of the state, the people everywhere with these uprights.
This does not seem right. Isn't life there for making mistakes, for living, well, imperfectly? Perfection is for the dead.
I agree.
I mean, if you could live a perfect, happy, content life, why wouldn't you?
Well, because there's always time for that in the afterlife.
Well, I guess it would still be nice to live a perfect, happy, content life, but there's nothing wrong with your life not being that.
But what is life without sorrow and heartache?
What is
You're
life
not helping.
without flaws? Look, flaws are what make many things beautiful. The transcendental nature of things like flower blossoms and the fragrance of a hot tea is what makes them so special and so enjoyable.
I mean, yes, flower blossoms are beautiful, but look at the city. I mean, how many drunkards, living in the gutters have you seen? People selling their children into slavery just so they can pay their taxes because they spend their monies on bribes to the officials to be able to continue their business, or being extorted by the guilds or what have you from exorbitant fees because they believe that they are owed all the money in the world, not just their rightful share.
So what are you doing about it?
Well, I'm currently talking to you and hoping to convince you to, help make this Yizhao a better place. And at that, she'll try to do some social influence at her solar. Yeah, haha.
Good luck.
That sounds like very little, honestly. I mean, why aren't you going out and helping?
Wait. She's trying to do social influence on you. We gotta.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
see
sorry.
how that
I'm
goes
sorry.
first.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. If you're a protagonist, then the difficulty is willpower, I think. And okay. She wants you to believe that empowering the altar of heaven is the way to make people happy. Do you have any kind of nature or intimacy that would work for this thing?
The well-being of children might work. It might clash a little bit with the whole listen to your parents at all times thing, but it might be an intimacy that may make it easier for her.
Yeah, I think the implication here would be that if you have uprights, the parents will be perfect parents, the children will be perfectly taken care of, and what have you. Everybody will be happier, better. There will be no bad thing in this city. So I'd say that it does apply, which loves difficulty by 2. So I'm rolling a difficulty 3.
Does she have anything that opposes this, though?
Let me check.
Probably not directly, eh?
I don't think so, no.
We'll look at your stuff. Your nature is survivor, which, yeah, she does mention that it doesn't affect you, so it wouldn't matter. Familiar and well-being. No, this doesn't affect your goat. This doesn't affect the 1,000 critical calamities, and yeah. So okay, so that is 6 successes. Okay, now you as a PC, of course, have recourse against this. I think. Was it like you could spend like a willpower or something like this?
Yep. Being persuaded, procrastinating, blah blah.
Is this persuasion or is it inspiration?
Inspiration. So she adds an intimacy at you first. Okay.
Yeah, must accept temporary intimacy. Or pay a point of willpower to deny the inspiration.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can spend a willpower to deny it, but also this does work against you as a soul are having intimacy to gain a limit for going against this. So do you spend 1 willpower and gain 1 limit to tell her no?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
do so.
Set my temporary willpower to 4, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and cross off another limit.
Yes. So yeah, you steel your heart against the needs of the children because you believe that, this city would be better if they actually had free will.
Yeah. I feel like this would infringe on the free will of the children too much. Yep. Children need to make their mistakes. They need to run into their own walls at some point, and they need to rebel against their parents to develop their own morality, in my opinion. So,
yep.
I just squint like Fry in Futurama at Fei, and it's visible that my brain is working hard at something for a little while.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, where she was talking about, what she do and so on and so on. Yeah. So I guess the floor is yours, guys. What would you like to know?
Where do you find that thing? How do you come in possession of it?
Well, I talk with a number of the scholars in Dilumbai, And through lengthy investigation and talking with many sages, many philosophers, I was able to find an old cache of Shogunate era artifacts. Well, yeah, it was owned by someone else. I had to, pay and quite a substantial amount of money for it, but they were luckily able to be convinced that, to lend me this chart, the river chart, because they believe that, yes, making sure that the Altar of Heaven works at its full capacity would be beneficial to the society.
I see.
Well, I. How do I get my hands on this thing? I'm no good at lying.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I have an idea. Idea. I'm going to basically just improvise a big performance, just some inspirational poetry to explain that life is a stage which is there for all the heartache and for all the struggles to play out there, and then the curtain falls, and that is when perfection happens, because a story is only good when it ends. And I would like to inspire her to form an intimacy that, maybe imperfection in life are a good thing.
Okay. Sure. So her resolve is 9.
Ooh,
she bought into this.
Spicy.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Damn. Right. I mean, that would be performance, right? Can I use appearance for it, or is it charisma?
You're not trying to seduce her. I think this is actually manipulation, because you're.
Well, I'm not lying. I mean this. I mean this earnestly.
Why are you doing this here? What's your end goal out of this?
Well, my end goal is that she will see that she has no use for this thing. I also just generally love to proselytize.
Okay, it's like, if you're trying to convince her that she doesn't need the river chart so that you can get it, that's manipulation, because you're, focusing on your own outcome. If you're proselytizing,
that's the secondary thing. Yeah, what I'm doing right now is just I want to inspire her to accept the impurities of life, because, perfection lies beyond the grave. The other thing would be the secondary part.
Yeah, so I guess if her talking about this offended you on a moral basis, and you want to convince her that she is in the wrong, that would be charisma. And then you could leverage that in a persuasion to get the river chart with manipulation later. Yes. Okay, so start with charisma and performance. Sure.
All right. Difficulty 9, yes?
Yes.
Wild. I suppose I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna fire up the excellency. Is that still?
Yes.
Is that still more expensive here?
No, this the more expensive only applies in the governor's mansion and in the place of the altar. So over here it's
all right. Okay, cool. Well, then that's
you can also spend willpower to lower the difficulty by 1.
No, I think 16 dice will be sufficient. I have faith. So that's 10, that's 15, that's 16. There we go. Let's see. Oh, wow. That's a lot of 10s. Wait, performance is favored, so ones count?
Yes.
No, in favorite, in favorite they do count. In cast, they do count.
Exactly. So that puts me at 4 successes anyway.
Success. Okay, so you inspired her to believe that imperfect life is good, actually, right?
Yes. That life is there to do things imperfectly before, the grandness of the grave. Grandeur, I guess, is the word.
Okay, yeah, you do this stunning performance, and improvise. I know they probably had some space for like performers would be playing some gentle music, whatever. You took that over. You perform a small, yet they're improvised. How is music, singing, just performing arts?
Oh yeah, sure. Let's make it a song.
Sure, you do a song or whatever, and you do inspire her to accept imperfect life, to accept the flaws in people, and have you. And like, I do believe you've made your point. No, yeah, okay.
Well, so since you don't need that thing, can I have it?
Cyra, during the performance, just put her chin in her hands and smiles widely, and to Four Claws says, "She's so wrong, but she does it really well."
She does seem to be speaking from the heart.
She does. Her heart's just wrong.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I can agree with about half of that, about, it's fine to not be perfect, but then when she starts going on about, and that's because everything will be better when you're dead, it's like...
Yes, thank you. She, comes from a great place, but then she just goes off the deep end, and I'm telling you, it's the underworld trip. She wasn't like that before.
Uh-huh. Are you sure?
Yes.
I cannot believe you're doing this right now.
I do this always, and I pat her on the back.
But I just realized that asking her for the thing is probably manipulation plus presence, which is not my forte.
One die?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have, you'd have to roll that. To say I was going to give it to you anyway if you agreed to use it, and after that I don't think I have a need for it. So she'll try to convince you to go along with the plan, citing she'll be trying to leverage some kind of intimacy relating to you wanting this as a kind of payment. Would that hit anything you have in intimacy or what have you? Of nature, visionary.
With the way you've been lusting after artifacts, it sounds like it should hit something.
Yeah, that's not an intimacies thing. That's my Death Lord wants swag thing.
Oh.
Gotta get the Death Lord iced out.
Yeah. She can get quite serious about things. Okay, so she wants to give it to us if we do what she wants. I don't want to do what she wants to do, but I want the thing. quite the impasse, and I probably can't convince her that I'm gonna do the thing.
Well, I'm just leaving it over to you. Like, in order to convince someone, you need to either appeal to nature intimacy or offer them something they want. So this chart, this considerable commensurable value of the request. Okay, so I do think she can make the roll. Okay.
I suppose.
So your willpower is 5. There aren't any intimacies to lower this, so yeah. Okay. So that is difficulty 5. Roll.
No, wait. It's against willpower? That's 9, actually.
Oh, woof. Then she got 1 success. Okay.
Dang.
You can still resist it, I believe. It's not deal. In case still at the cost of 2 willpower. Unless you can cite some intimacy, nature, then I refuse to.
So I'm gonna try. Can I cite my intimacy to depose gods and topple heaven's order to reject this? Because it is the celestial pattern of the altar of heaven. Like that's, I feel like that would be something that rubs against
Tell
that.
me, how specific are you? Are you actually talking about the celestial order of Yushan in here, or are you talking about order in general on any kind of thing? What is this intimacy relating to?
Yeah, it's probably like really generally against gods and Yushan, like the celestial bureaucracy and stuff.
She's not asking you to go along with it. She's asking you, hey, do this thing, fix this city once, and then you can just move on with whatever. This isn't you even being part of this bureaucracy or what have you. This doesn't relate to the issues of power. It's more like, hey, change the society in a different way. Yes. So would be a stretch, even if it wasn't Yushan directly. So
all right. So wait, how much willpower is it to reject this?
2 willpower.
2 if it's an ordeal.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it is an
1
ordeal.
if it's an
God. Is this thing really good enough for me to even consider this? I'm not so sure.
Star metal is, from what I heard, the rarest of the magical materials, and this is
that's true.
Like a nice bundle thing. Like you could smelt this, you could make an artifact out of this.
Okay. So if I don't pay the willpower, I will have to actually agree to do this thing.
Yes.
Yep. Damn. Well. Now I'm wondering, how does changing my mind later works? I probably can't do that myself. I'll probably have to hope that the others can convince me to change my mind.
Probably like if the situation changed drastically or something like that, I don't know. Like, I tell you, hey, apply this and it will change people in the city. Like, okay, I've agreed to this, and then it turns out, oh no, applying this will blow up the whole city and murder everybody. Like, okay, I didn't agree to this, therefore this deal is no longer valid or what have you. But I think if you agree to this, then you will want this pretty much out of the your characters. What have you? And
yeah, okay. You know what? Let's just go for it. I take a moment and let out a sigh, and I say, well, You do make a good point. It isn't really my problem, and it is an enticing reward, so I will just be taking this then.
Quick.
Yeah. She hands it over willingly.
Where do you keep it in your hand, or do you put it in a satchel or something?
Stealing.
I mean, it is star metal. I'm definitely gonna put that in a satchel.
Cool.
Keep it close to my heart. It's important.
I'm gonna steal that. Because I'm not leaving the thing that will turn the city into slaves with the omnicidal maniac.
Hey, that's a really good idea. But maybe not right here?
No, I'm going to wait for a slightly better situation. But basically, as we're leaving, I'm just going to nab it.
That seems reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, first, let's talk about the conflict of the player. Are fine enough with people stealing from one another? Is this okay in that game?
Perfectly fine for me, yes. As long as you don't take the stuff I actually pay background points for.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm only going to do it for the plot MacGuffin, not for actual stuff that matters to the characters.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Just wanted to make sure. Okay, so whenever you want
that we talked about it,
you can do some roll.
Do we want to do anything else talking to the sage? Actually, I'm going to ask, so exactly what are we supposed to do with this thing at the altar? Just shove it on top of it?
From what I've been told, you just need to press it against it or touch it against the altar, and the magic between those two objects that are meant to be together will solve itself out. So whether you toss it out the altar or approach it, should be fine. Maybe shoot an arrow at it. That would be interesting.
Cool.
I'm sure we'll find a way.
So, just as a small question, how long have you wanted to do this?
Well, I wanted to do this for a while now, like ever since I heard about how the altar works, about how it creates the uprights and whatever. I do believe, it'll be a few years now. I mean, I'm looking at her. She's pretty young, so for a while she was like growing up and whatever, so she didn't have that much time to scheme this. But yeah. So yeah, it must be like 3 years now.
Cyra squints again. She's wondering if doing something like this might be a good motive to, for some reason, make the altar either malfunction or provoke it on purpose. So there would be good reason to do
that. You should read intentions about
yes, exactly. So roll your perception and empathy against difficulty of 5, let's say, because she's already talking more than last time.
So
and I think you can use your excellency for that if you want.
Oh yeah, I can. I'm gonna use my excellency for that.
Do it.
Double check the excellency real quick. That is spend 1 mote, so I need to lower my mote pool by 1.
Yeah.
So that means I've got 10 remaining. Go. Please react. Thank you. And that means I can roll 8 instead of just 4, right?
You add your perception again into the roll, as far as I remember.
No, perception and empathy, actually.
Yeah. So let's get both.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I thought she was a lunar. Yeah, you get both, yeah.
No, I'm not a piddly lunar. I'm a soul. I'm sorry.
I'm better
Cyra's
than
a
this.
big deal, okay?
Yeah, it's a whole point.
Roll it.
Oh, 8. Difficulty was
5.
5?
Does that one count?
Is it one of your cast or favorite abilities? Sorry, it's one of. Is
It's
it one of your
It's
cast
a cast
abilities?
ability.
Then
Yeah,
that
then
doesn't
it
count. So you
No,
have
it doesn't.
So it's 55.
6 successes. No, 5.
Nice.
Brain.
5.
1, 2, 1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5.
5.
Perfect success.
Okay, so that thing that, let's see, a 5 reveals Cyra's nature. Okay,
Wow.
so her nature is virtuous, and you pretty much can read her like a book. She believes in her heart of hearts, to be the truth, that what she said to you is completely true. That if you apply this river chart to the author of heaven, it'll be empowered, it'll work at 100% efficiency, it'll convert many people into being upright, and that will root out this corruption in the city that is created by people being complacent with the higher-ups, corruptions, and lackadaisical approach to this pattern. Everything she told you, she believes in it 100%. Yeah.
So that means she's also herself convinced that the storms are caused by the people in the city and not by something she helped along, basically.
Yeah. Her nature is parallel. I was the wrong part of the thing. So yeah, she believes in this ideology. And yes, she does believe that the storms are caused by the populace being complacent. Let me double check how she phrases it. Yeah, it is caused by the loose morals of the common people, and they're conspiring with the corrupt officials to ease their lives. That is her belief.
Ah. And I suppose she believes in the pattern so strongly that she would never agitate it on purpose, even if it would bring her closer to her goals.
Pretty much, if not now, then soon enough, if you ask about it. Everybody in the city that knows of Beautiful Sage Fei believes that whatever she does must align with the pattern, because she's the most virtuous, most pious, most brilliant sage of the pattern in this whole city. Even though she is a woman, which isn't her in a position to be a philosopher or sage or whatever, she is the most educated, and she's like the exemplar, despite her position in life.
Okay. Fine.
So if she's wrong, then there's something fundamentally wrong in this whole setup. I know some message got wrong 10,000 years ago, and it's propagated throughout this whole city, and it's accepted as true to this day.
Wild stuff. I hope inspiring this strange intimacy in her isn't gonna have consequences or anything.
Fine.
I mean, for her, it'll be like, oh, it's okay that I have a small stain in my thing, or like, oh, it's okay that my hair is a little bit unkempt. So, she'll be a little bit more lax and what have you. But, it won't. She still has other intimacies that still reinforce her following the pattern, or wanting to restore the altar, or being, a learned person, whatever. So you haven't corrupted this poor youth entirely. Just give her a different outlook on life for a while.
That makes sense.
Okay. So what would you all like to do next? As you mentioned that, possibly using it, she does mention to you, Abyssal, that she will be ingratiated to you, should be in debt to you for her whole life if you pull this off. So you can leverage that as you will.
Yep.
Of course.
We should go visit the prince at the altar.
Yes, let's get this over with.
And as we leave, I will take a moment where Calamities and her sister are talking about something, possibly about how bad of an idea it would be to actually do what Beautiful Sage Fei asked and steal the chart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that sounds like some kind of an opposed roll. So that probably what? Dexterity and larceny? Is that a thing in the system? Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
definitely rolling
Larceny.
dexterity larceny.
Versus perception and what would work
Awareness?
for this?
Awareness.
Oh yeah, there is awareness. Yes, perception and awareness.
I'm gonna spend one mode to activate my excellency, because why not?
That's probably complete overkill, but go for it. What difficulty are we both rolling? 6?
Okay, this is a big scroll, I would say, and it's kind of hefty because it's magical material. So I'd say it's maybe difficulty 7 to steal, difficulty 5. Notice that suddenly your satchel is like a couple pounds lighter.
Okay. Well, I'm tossing 15 dice on this, so
Yep. Do it.
that is 6 successes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have 0.
Little 0. Okay. So you found some kind of rock or what have you that you quickly sized out the charts, figure out how much it should weigh based on it being made of metal, and also kind of flatten whatever. You found the rock that's exact the same weight, and you slipped it perfectly into the satchel, removing that star chart and sequestering it where you will. Where would you like to put it so it isn't found?
I'll put it in my bag of random stuff. I just have a little bag.
Yeah, you put it in your doggy bag. Okay. The chart is in your possession.
Imagine you have like a big burglar sack slung over your shoulder. It goes in there.
That would be too obvious. It's more like a satchel.
Well,
do you mean 4 claws the cat burglar?
Uh-huh.
Well,
I mean, has anybody noticed that what my name is? 4 claws abatement.
I only know 4 claws.
Abatement is another word for discount.
4-finger discount.
Yeah. 4 claws abate. Okay.
Nice.
Absolutely brilliant.
I get it.
Love it. You're the worst. Thank you.
Perfect pun names. This is what I'm exalted for. But yeah, still been a heavy kidnap sack. Yep. Okay. Mm-hmm. In the interest of time passing as you're solving this, now it's an evening, so you have to go to the prince in the morning, which means you need to take the night somewhere. How much resources do you all have?
0.
0.
Let me double check that. 3.
But I don't need resources. I just use my wonderful little harmony with nature approach to...
Yeah, you can just camp out in the woods somewhere. That's
exactly. Yeah. I just leave the city ever so slightly and camp out in the woods with my goat.
It's like, first of all, 1,000 Crimson Calamities can pay for the board for all of you. You can even go to a nice place, like in this flower district. There are some nice onsen-style, lodgings here, so you can have your own rooms and what have you, if that's what you'd like. Sure, you can go out of the city. Finding wilderness would be a little bit harder because it's surrounded by farmland, so you'd have to go 5 hours of walking to get to the nearest forest or more wilderness location.
I think harmony with nature doesn't need like the wildest wilderness or anything. I think it's fine if I even just went like,
okay.
Yeah, I think I can sleep in a cornfield or something like that. Even.
Well, whatever your child says, you can do it.
I will absolutely pay for anyone who wants to take a room. I will also get myself a proper meal, but I'm not going to like get a room for sleeping because there's this whole problem that the essence of creation doesn't properly nourish me because, my essence does not interact with it well. And for that reason, I'm going to have to find a nice bit of soil to sleep in. So I will probably just accompany Cyra out of town.
I mean, there are some like gardens within the resorts and what have you. So if you'd like to, I don't know, pay them, and
I don't know if
that
we
you
should
to
do
get
that
the
to the
garden.
gardens.
Well,
I don't know if
Cyra's leaving the city. I'm probably just going to stick with her. If Foreclaw's Abatement wants to take a room here, I will pay for it, and then we'll meet up again in the morning.
I'm going to turn into a cat again and just,
sleep wherever.
nap.
All right. So you guys leave the city for the night. You find some slightly emptier field, maybe the one that hasn't been sowed yet, whatever. And you bury yourself in the soil, right? To sleep.
Yeah, I invoke the Resplendent Burial Rite charm, which costs 1 mote, and then the earth just opens up, and I bid everybody a good night, and I fall backwards into the grave, and it closes above me, and a grave marker rises out of the ground that has an inscription on it in Old Realm that warns anybody of disturbing this grave. And if I do this, like if I am down in there when the sun goes down, I actually recover essence as if I were in the underworld, which is super handy.
Awesome.
My big goat will just flop against the grave marker from behind it, and like curl up slightly so that I can snuggle in, like it's a big old pillow. And that is already enough for me to get really comfortable. I drape myself half over the goat and fall asleep pretty much instantly.
Awesome. Those of you that have spent willpower may regain it, except for the Lunar, because you're going to have nightmares. You regain your essence for the sunset, sunrise, and what have you.
Yep.
So, lunar limit stuff. You were saying that this altar of heaven was something that your character was dealing with in the first stage, you said, right?
Yep.
Okay. And since you've had enough information about it, it counts as you encountering this in this, session or what have you.
Cool. So I take 2 limit, and I have horrible nightmares.
Yes, you have nightmares about how you were in this area like a couple thousand years ago. You were one of the stewards here, or what have you, stationed for a while at least. You remember this golden orichalcum pillar that was like the center of the town, looking down upon this whole area and judging people for their transgressions. And you remember someone that was like your servant, your like attendant or whatever, that you had, fond memories of or what have you. They came with you to this place, bright-eyed and wanting to, come with you because, they were looking up to you and what have you. And one day they cross some kind of laws of the city, cross against the pattern. Maybe they mouthed out to some superior or what have you, and you remember them changing, the personality of them getting like erased. They were no longer the same kind of person, but they turned into a perfect law-abiding citizen that, you know, never ever crossed the same line again, never talked about the turn, never broke any of the patterns and what have you. But the spark they had that you so cherished changed. Even physically they changed, because they weren't from here. They changed into the perfect Ren person. So yeah, that's the feeling you remember that wakes you up as a nightmare in the morning.
I'm gonna hunt for breakfast to take my mind off it.
Yeah. So yeah, it is. It's been like 3 hours of us playing. Are people still wanting to continue? We're wrapping up soon, because I remember some people saying that this is about the wrap time.
I could go for a little while longer, I think. How about you,
I
Finn?
would be for wrapping up soon. I got dentist appointment later.
Oh,
Okay, then maybe we should wrap it up, and we'll come back to what you do in the next day of your investigation next time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been Peter.
I've been G.
I've been Shen.
And I've been Sigfried.
And this has been sponsored by Nobody, signing off.